Add this to your coffee. Cardiologists say it drops blood pressure instantly. Have you ever reached for your blood pressure monitor in the morning, your hand trembling slightly, dreading what those numbers might show? I still remember the day my own doctor looked me straight in the eyes with that serious expression, pointing to the 165/95 reading on his screen. "If you don't get this under control," he said, "we're looking at medication for life." That moment changed everything for me. Maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about. That constant worry about your heart working overtime. That frustration when everyone tells you to just eat less salt or lose some weight, as if you haven't tried 1,000 times already. The worst part isn't even the numbers themselves. It's the way hypertension steals your peace of mind, making you hesitate before playing with your grandkids or enjoying the simplest pleasures in life because you're afraid of what might happen if your pressure suddenly spikes. After years of working with clients just like you to naturally manage their blood pressure, I've discovered something that cardiologists rarely mention: a simple, delicious addition to your morning coffee that can help reduce your blood pressure within minutes, supported by impressive clinical studies. Today, I'm going to share the science behind this nearly instant blood pressure fix that costs pennies a day, how it works in your body to relax your blood vessels naturally, and exactly how to use it for maximum benefit. Imagine waking up tomorrow, taking a sip of your modified morning brew, and watching those numbers start to normalize before you even finish breakfast. This isn't some miracle cure. It's simply an overlooked natural compound that works with your body's own mechanisms to help restore healthy circulation. So stay with me until the end of this video, because this information could be the turning point in your journey toward better heart health without relying solely on prescription medications. Before I dive into today's topic, I'd love to know if you or someone you care about struggles with high blood pressure. Drop a comment below sharing your experience or any natural remedies you've tried. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to receive more videos about natural ways to support your cardiovascular health and overall well-being. Let me start with something that might surprise you. Your blood pressure isn't just about your heart. It's a complex interplay between your blood vessels, hormones, and even your nervous system. When you have high blood pressure, what's really happening is that your arteries are narrowed or stiffened, forcing your heart to work harder to pump blood throughout your body. This creates that dangerous pressure inside your vessels that can lead to serious problems down the road. Did you know that for every 20-point increase in systolic blood pressure, that top number, your risk of cardiovascular disease doubles? And more than 116 million Americans are currently living with numbers higher than they should be. That's nearly half of all adults in the United States. The scariest part is that many people don't even realize they're at risk because hypertension often has no obvious symptoms until significant damage has already occurred. But here's where things get interesting. Certain natural compounds can actually help your blood vessels relax and dilate, creating more space for blood to flow, which naturally brings down that pressure. And one of the most powerful of these compounds is hiding in your spice cabinet right now. I'm talking about cinnamon, but not just any cinnamon. The specific compounds in Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, have been shown in multiple studies to have remarkable effects on blood pressure. One meta-analysis of 9 randomized controlled trials found that cinnamon supplementation significantly reduced both systolic and diastolic pressure. The participants experienced average decreases of over 5 points in systolic pressure and more than 3 points in diastolic pressure, which might not sound like much until you realize that even a 5-point reduction in systolic pressure is associated with approximately a 14% reduction in stroke and a 9% reduction in heart disease. To put this in perspective, that's comparable to the blood pressure reduction you might see from losing 10 pounds of body weight or cutting your sodium intake nearly in half, but with a simple, delicious addition to your morning routine rather than months of difficult lifestyle changes. So, what makes cinnamon so effective? It comes down to several powerful mechanisms. First, cinnamon contains compounds that increase nitric oxide production in your body. Nitric oxide is crucial because it signals your blood vessels to relax and widen, which directly reduces pressure. Second, cinnamon has impressive anti-inflammatory properties, which is important because inflammation contributes to arterial stiffness. Third, it helps improve insulin sensitivity, which is closely linked to healthy blood pressure levels. And finally, some studies suggest cinnamon acts similar to calcium channel blockers, the same mechanism behind several prescription blood pressure medications, but without the side effects. I find it fascinating that one of cinnamon's active compounds, cinnamaldehyde, has been shown to target multiple pathways involved in blood pressure regulation. It's like nature designed the perfect multi-action remedy specifically for cardiovascular health. Now, you might be wondering, if cinnamon is so effective, why don't more doctors recommend it? The truth is that while pharmaceutical companies spend billions marketing their drugs, natural remedies like cinnamon don't have powerful corporate interests behind them. There's simply less awareness about these solutions, even though the research supporting them continues to grow. That's exactly why I'm so passionate about sharing this information with you today. I've seen the difference these natural approaches can make in people's lives, especially when conventional medicine alone hasn't given them the results they hoped for. It's not about rejecting modern medicine. It's about expanding our toolkit to include everything that can help us achieve optimal health. Let me take a moment to ask something important. When was the last time someone really listened to your concerns about high blood pressure? Not just the numbers on your chart, but how it affects your daily life and the worry it causes you. So many people tell me they feel isolated, as if no one truly understands the constant anxiety that comes with having an invisible condition like hypertension, that silent tension that accompanies every heartbeat. If this resonates with you, I'd really appreciate hearing your story in the comments below. Even something as simple as, "I've been dealing with high blood pressure for number years, and what worries me most is," your biggest concern. Sharing your experience not only helps me create more relevant content for you, but it also shows others watching that they're not alone in this struggle. Sometimes just knowing someone else understands what you're going through can bring tremendous relief. And who knows, your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today to find hope. Now, let's continue our conversation about this remarkable spice and how to use it properly. Now, if you want to get the most benefit from cinnamon for your blood pressure, there are some important details you need to know. First, the type of cinnamon matters tremendously. Ceylon cinnamon, Cinnamomum verum, is the variety you want to use, not the more common cassia cinnamon that fills most supermarket shelves. Why? Because while cassia does have some health benefits, it contains high levels of a compound called coumarin, which can be harmful to your liver in large amounts. Ceylon cinnamon contains much less coumarin, while still providing the beneficial compounds that help lower blood pressure. You can identify Ceylon cinnamon by its lighter color, more delicate flavor, and higher price point compared to cassia. It's worth the extra investment for your health, especially if you'll be consuming it daily. And if you're concerned about getting the right type, look for labels that specifically say Ceylon or True Cinnamon, or check specialty spice shops and health food stores where higher quality options are more commonly available. Second, consistency is key. The studies showing significant blood pressure reduction use daily doses of cinnamon, typically between 1 to 2 grams per day, for periods of 8 to 12 weeks. While you might notice some immediate effects from the vasodilating properties of cinnamon, the most substantial and sustainable results come from regular daily consumption over time. Think of it like exercise. One workout won't transform your health, but a consistent routine over months will create lasting changes. Your cardiovascular system needs time to respond to the beneficial compounds and gradually adjust its functioning for long-term improvement. So, how exactly should you add cinnamon to your coffee? The simplest method is to add about half a teaspoon of ground Ceylon cinnamon directly to your morning brew. If you use a drip coffee maker, you can sprinkle it right into the grounds before brewing. For French press or pour-over methods, add it to the grounds before adding water. If you prefer, you can also stir it into your finished cup, though this may leave a bit more sediment at the bottom of your mug. One trick I recommend to my clients is to make a cinnamon-infused simple syrup by simmering a few cinnamon sticks in water with a touch of pure monk fruit sweetener, then storing this in your refrigerator to add to your coffee throughout the week. This method extracts the beneficial compounds efficiently and gives your coffee a smooth, delicious flavor without the grittiness that can sometimes occur with ground cinnamon. For those who find the taste of cinnamon in coffee too strong, I have another option that many of my clients absolutely love: cardamom. This aromatic spice is another powerful ally for heart health, with studies showing it can also significantly lower blood pressure. In one notable study published in the Indian Journal of Biochemistry and Biophysics, participants who consumed cardamom powder daily for 12 weeks saw their blood pressure drop to normal ranges, with average decreases of nearly 8 points in systolic pressure and almost 3 points in diastolic pressure. Cardamom works through similar mechanisms as cinnamon, helping to relax blood vessels and improve circulation while adding a delicious, exotic flavor to your coffee that many people find more appealing than cinnamon. If you want to try the cardamom approach, simply add 1 to 2 crushed cardamom pods or about 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom to your coffee grounds before brewing. The flavor pairs beautifully with coffee and has been a traditional addition in Middle Eastern and Indian coffee preparations for centuries. I particularly recommend green cardamom, which has a more complex, aromatic flavor profile than the black variety. Some of my clients prefer to combine both cinnamon and cardamom in their coffee, creating a spice blend that not only tastes incredible, but may offer synergistic benefits for blood pressure management. There's emerging research suggesting that certain plant compounds work more effectively in combination than in isolation, another example of nature's wisdom that modern science is just beginning to understand. Now, I want to address something important. This natural approach is not about replacing your doctor's advice or prescribed medications. It's about complementing good medical care with evidence-based natural support. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making changes to your health regimen, especially if you're taking prescription medications. Some natural compounds can interact with certain drugs, and your doctor needs to be your partner in this journey. For instance, if you're taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, large amounts of cinnamon could potentially amplify their effects, though the small amounts we're discussing are generally considered safe. Having an open, honest conversation with your healthcare provider about your interest in natural approaches allows them to monitor your progress safely and potentially adjust your medications as your body responds to these natural interventions. That said, I've witnessed remarkable transformations in my clients who have incorporated these spices into their daily routine alongside other healthy lifestyle choices. Take Maria, for example, a 67-year-old grandmother who came to me with blood pressure consistently around 155/90 despite being on medication. After adding Ceylon cinnamon to her morning coffee and making a few other dietary adjustments we worked on together, her blood pressure dropped to 132/82. Her doctor was so impressed that they were able to reduce her medication dosage by half. Or consider James, a 54-year-old executive whose stressful job had his blood pressure constantly elevated, despite trying multiple medications with uncomfortable side effects. He started using cardamom in his coffee each morning and practicing the breathing techniques I recommended. Within a month, his readings became much more stable, and he experienced fewer spikes during stressful meetings. The side effects that had been bothering him from his medications became less of an issue, as his doctor was able to adjust his prescription. What's particularly remarkable about James's case was that previous attempts at controlling his blood pressure through diet alone had yielded minimal results, but the addition of these targeted spices made a noticeable difference where other approaches had failed. These are the kinds of results that keep me passionate about sharing these natural approaches. It's not about dramatic overnight miracles. It's about giving your body the natural compounds it needs to function optimally, then allowing it to gradually restore balance over time. Beyond cinnamon and cardamom, there are several other factors that can help amplify the blood pressure lowering effects. First, the timing of your spiced coffee matters. Many people see the best results when they consume it first thing in the morning, about 30 minutes before breakfast. This gives those active compounds time to be absorbed while your digestive system isn't busy processing a lot of food. Research suggests that the bioavailability of many plant compounds peaks when they're consumed on an empty stomach, allowing for maximum absorption into your bloodstream where they can exert their beneficial effects. Second, the quality of your coffee itself can make a difference. Choose organic coffee when possible, as conventional coffee can contain residual pesticides that may contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress. Dark roasts actually tend to be better for blood pressure than lighter roasts, because the roasting process creates compounds that have additional vasodilating effects. Studies have shown that certain compounds formed during the roasting process can inhibit an enzyme called angiotensin-converting enzyme, ACE. Interestingly, the same enzyme targeted by a common class of blood pressure medications known as ACE inhibitors. Third, how you prepare your coffee matters. Brewing methods that use paper filters, like drip coffee makers, filter out certain compounds called cafestal and cajol, which can raise cholesterol in some people. Methods like French press that don't use paper filters allow these compounds to remain in your coffee, which might counteract some of the benefits for your cardiovascular system. That said, even unfiltered coffee can be beneficial when cinnamon or cardamom is added, as the positive effects of these spices may outweigh concerns about cafestal and cajol, especially if your cholesterol levels are already in a healthy range. Fourth, what you add to your coffee is crucial. If you're loading it with sugar and conventional dairy creamer, you're potentially undermining the benefits. Instead, consider using a small amount of organic heavy cream, which won't spike your blood sugar, or try a plant-based option like unsweetened almond milk. If you need sweetness, a small amount of natural stevia is your best option, as it has actually been shown to have its own modest blood pressure lowering effects in some studies. For an added flavor dimension that supports heart health, try adding a tiny pinch of high-quality sea salt to your coffee grounds before brewing. While it might sound counterintuitive for blood pressure management, a very small amount of mineral-rich salt can actually enhance the flavor of the coffee and spices while providing trace minerals that support proper electrolyte balance, another important factor in healthy blood pressure regulation.
It's also worth mentioning that the blood pressure benefits of cinnamon and cardamom extend beyond just adding them to your coffee. You can incorporate these spices into your diet in various ways throughout the day. Try sprinkling cinnamon on oatmeal or yogurt, adding cardamom to smoothies, or using both in savory dishes like curries and stews. The more consistently you include these spices in your routine, the better results you're likely to see. One particularly effective approach I recommend to clients is making a blood pressure support tea by simmering cinnamon sticks, cardamom pods, and a slice of fresh ginger in water for 10 to 15 minutes, then straining and sipping throughout the day. This can serve as an excellent afternoon alternative to coffee while continuing to deliver those beneficial compounds to your system. Now, let's talk about what you might experience when you start this routine. Many people notice a pleasant warming sensation shortly after consuming cinnamon or cardamom in their coffee. This is actually the spice's increasing circulation and blood flow. Some report feeling more mentally alert but also more calm, which comes from improved blood flow to the brain and the mild stress-reducing properties of these aromatic compounds. You might also notice that your hands and feet feel warmer than usual, another sign of improved peripheral circulation. Don't be surprised if you experience more stable energy throughout the day without the typical coffee crash. The spices help moderate the absorption of caffeine, providing a smoother, more sustained energy boost. Within the first week of daily use, you might start to see your morning blood pressure readings trending slightly lower, especially if you measure shortly after having your spiced coffee. By weeks 2 to 4, many people notice more consistent improvements throughout the day. And by the 8-week mark, which aligns with the duration of many of the clinical studies, you're likely to see your average readings stabilized at a healthier level, provided you're consuming the right type and amount of these spices daily. Some people also report additional benefits during this period, including improved digestion, reduced joint pain thanks to the anti-inflammatory properties of these spices, and even better glucose control, all factors that indirectly support heart health as well. It's important to keep track of your blood pressure readings when starting any new health regimen. I recommend taking readings at the same times each day and keeping a simple log to track your progress. This information will be valuable for both you and your healthcare provider to make informed decisions about your health. A useful pattern to follow is measuring your blood pressure first thing in the morning before consuming anything, then again about 30 to 60 minutes after your spiced coffee, and finally in the evening before bed. This gives you a comprehensive picture of how your blood pressure fluctuates throughout the day and how it responds to the spices both immediately and over time. Many of my clients find that using a smartphone app to track these readings helps them stay consistent and makes it easier to spot positive trends as they develop. As we near the end of our time together, I want to emphasize that managing blood pressure effectively usually requires a multifaceted approach. While cinnamon and cardamom can be powerful allies, they work best as part of a broader strategy that includes regular physical activity, stress management techniques, adequate sleep, and an anti-inflammatory diet rich in vegetables, healthy fats, and lean proteins. Each of these elements supports your cardiovascular system in different but complementary ways. In my experience working with hundreds of clients with hypertension, the most dramatic improvements occur when these spices are incorporated as part of a holistic lifestyle approach rather than used in isolation. If you're serious about improving your blood pressure naturally, I encourage you to approach it with patience and consistency. These natural methods don't work like pharmaceutical drugs that force immediate changes in your body. Instead, they gently support your body's inherent ability to regulate itself. The results may take time to fully manifest, but they're often more sustainable and come without the side effects associated with medications. Think of it as a partnership with your body rather than an intervention. You're providing the tools and resources your cardiovascular system needs to function optimally, then allowing your innate healing mechanisms to restore balance naturally. Remember, too, that individual responses vary. While most people in studies show positive results from cinnamon and cardamom, the magnitude of improvement differs based on factors like age, overall health, genetic predisposition, and concurrent lifestyle habits. Give yourself at least 8 to 12 weeks of consistent use before evaluating the full impact on your blood pressure. And be sure to celebrate the small victories along the way. Even a modest improvement indicates that you're moving in the right direction and that your body is responding positively to your efforts. The journey to optimal health is rarely a straight line, but rather a gradual process of discovery and adjustment as you learn what works best for your unique biology. If you've made it this far, I know you're someone who truly cares about taking control of your health in a natural, informed way. Living with high blood pressure can feel overwhelming. The constant medication adjustments, the worry about long-term effects, the frustration when conventional approaches don't give you the results you're hoping for. I want you to know you're not alone in this journey. Our channel exists precisely to support people like you who are seeking evidence-based natural approaches to health challenges that conventional medicine sometimes struggles to address completely. Every week, we share new discoveries, practical strategies, and success stories from our community members who have found their own path to better health. If the information in this video resonated with you, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming content on natural approaches to heart health, stress management, anti-inflammatory nutrition, and more. And if you found value in today's discussion about cinnamon and cardamom for blood pressure, I'd be grateful if you'd give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from this information. Your engagement helps our channel reach more people who are searching for these natural solutions. In next week's video, I'll be sharing 3 powerful breathing techniques specifically designed to lower blood pressure in minutes. Techniques derived from ancient practices but validated by modern research. You won't want to miss these simple yet effective strategies that you can use anywhere, anytime to help regulate your cardiovascular system. I believe deeply in your body's remarkable ability to heal and regulate itself when given the right support. Something as simple as adding a specific spice to your morning routine might seem too basic to make a real difference. But it's often these small, consistent actions that create the foundation for significant health improvements over time. Your cardiovascular system responds to every choice you make, every day. And today, you've learned one more powerful choice you can make tomorrow morning. Thank you for investing this time in your health. I look forward to continuing this journey with you in our next video. Until then, be well and take good care of that amazing heart of yours. It's the only one you've got.